Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Arsenal could sell Kieran Tierney for £25 million as Gunners eye Declan Rice. Arsenal want to recoup the £25 million they spent on Kieran Tierney as the Gunners look to raise funds to potentially pursue a move for Declan Rice this summer. According to a report from The Times, it appears increasingly likely that Tierney will be on the move out of the Emirates this summer. The left back has been a fan favourite throughout his time in North London. However, he has struggled for opportunities this term. The 25-year-old has fallen behind Zinchenko in the pecking order, and he has not completed 90 minutes in the Premier League since September. It also seemed ominous for the Scotland international that Takahiro Tomiyasu has been used ahead of him on a couple of occasions. Reports from The Sun last week claimed that Newcastle wants Tierney and he was considering his future with the Gunners over the lack of game time. The Times has now provided a further update. They report that Arsenal want to recoup the £25 million they spent on Tierney, but they are looking to raise funds as they set their sights on an £80 million move for Declan Rice. It will be a shame to see Tierney leave Arsenal. He was one of the players who tried to set a much higher standard during the darker days for the club, and for some time he appeared to be earmarked as a potential future captain. Mikel Arteta himself has described Tierney as an incredible player, and he is the kind of player every club in the Premier League would love to have in their squad. Unfortunately, he simply does not appear to be suited to what Arteta wants from his fullbacks, so it might be best for all parties if a move can be agreed this summer. Arsenal now likely to sell Albert Sambi Lokonga this summer. Arsenal are now likely to sell Albert Sambi Lokonga in the summer as the Gunners look to strengthen their transfer budget by offloading some of their fringe players. According to a report from The Times, Lokonga has had a difficult time at the Emirates. The Belgian appeared to be a very exciting signing, having already captained Anderlecht before his move. Vincent Kompany previously described him as a special player. However, it has never quite clicked at Arsenal for the 23-year-old. His most recent appearance in the Premier League for the Gunners came in the North London derby win back at the very start of October. Of course, Lokonga left Arsenal in the January transfer window, joining Crystal Palace on loan. It appeared to be a smart move from the Gunners, giving the youngster a chance to prove himself in the top flight. However, perhaps there is a chance that he has already made his final appearance for Mikel Arteta's side. The Times report that Lokonga is likely to leave, along with fellow loanee Nuno Tavares, so it would appear that his spell at Palace is now important for putting Lokonga on the shop window, and Arsenal will also hope that it improve his value after a difficult 18 months. The Gunners spent around £17 million on Lokonga, according to BBC Sport. He is yet to live up to that fee during his time with Arsenal, but obviously he is a young player and he now has a chance to show what he can do at Selhurst Park. It may be that it's best for all sides if a permanent exit can be agreed this summer. Mikel Arteta is yet to find Lokonga's role in his side, and the youngster will not want to watch his development stagnate any further. Gabriel Agbonlahor says Edin Nketiah isn't good enough to start for Arsenal. Gabriel Agbonlahor has suggested that Edin Nketiah simply isn't good enough to start for Arsenal on a consistent basis. Nketiah has stepped up in the absence of Gabriel Jesus over the past couple of months, but he is currently going through a difficult patch of form. The 23-year-old hasn't found the back of the net since he bagged a brace against Manchester United towards the end of January. He had netted 4 goals in 5 games straight after stepping into the side, but he is now without a goal in his last 4 starts in the league. Nketiah's dip in form led to him being dropped to the bench for Leandro Trossard as Arsenal beat Leicester 1-0 on Saturday, and Agbonlahor thinks the striker simply isn't good enough to be starting for Arsenal every week. Speaking on talkSPORT, Agbonlahor feels Jesus will be like a new signing once he returns from a lengthy spell on the sidelines. He said, "Yeah, Nketiah, he is that sort of striker, isn't he? He is the sort of a striker that you can get a game out of him here and there, and he comes on as a sub for 20 minutes. But to get 10 or 15 games out of him, he is not the answer for Arsenal. Gabriel Jesus, better player, more experienced, been there and won titles. When he comes back, he is going to be like a new signing. He could be the reason why Arsenal go on to win this league. Imagine in 2 or 3 games' time there will be 11 games left. For those 11 games, you have got Gabriel Jesus coming back into it. He could really fire Arsenal to the league title. It seems a bit harsh from Agbonlahor considering that Nketiah has performed brilliantly in the absence of Jesus. He is struggling for goals at the moment, but Jesus was enduring a similar run before the World Cup break. Of course, there is no doubt that Jesus makes Arsenal a far better side when he is in the starting lineup, but Nketiah has proven that he is good enough to fill in the Brazilian and, more importantly, step up for Arsenal as a starter. Alan Brazil says he has now completely changed his mind about Granit Xhaka. Talksport presenter Alan Brazil says he has completely changed his mind about Arsenal midfielder Granit Xhaka. The £35 million man has had a hugely impressive season as the Gunners have soared to the top of the Premier League table. He has had plenty of doubters during his time in English football, but this has been his best campaign, moved into a slightly more advanced role. Brazil said live on Talksport that he got the Swiss midfielder wrong, and fellow pundit Agbonlahor agreed. Agbonlahor said of Xhaka, I think they do like him there. He will have a few more years. He's done very well this year. Brazil replied, I was saying, is he good enough for the top flight? I really wasn't sure, and then watching him, I'm thinking maybe I have got this wrong. He is in there, and he is a leader in there as well. Agbonlahor concluded, he is a top player when he is on his game. Plenty of fans have probably changed their mind on Xhaka this season, and he has been one of the leaders in the squad this term. He has been more disciplined in his tackling, but more aggressive in his positioning, with Jorginho coming in and slotting in well. Next up for Arsenal is Everton in the Premier League tonight, which is their game in hand on Manchester City, after which the title picture will be even clearer. Agbonlahor says Declan Rice will join Arsenal this summer. Pounded Gabi Agbonlahor has now predicted that West Ham United star Declan Rice will choose Arsenal over Chelsea this summer. Agbonlahor was speaking on Talksport and discussing the 24-year-old's future. Declan Rice is one of the most talented midfielders in the Premier League right now, a vital player for both club and country. It seems as though his time at the London Stadium is coming to an end. He admitted during the World Cup that it was his ambition to play Champions League football very soon. That's something he simply won't be able to achieve at West Ham. Right now, they will be more concerned about Premier League survival than European qualification. Arsenal are keen admirers of Rice and are in the market for a player in his position. Moves for Moses Caicedo and Douglas Luiz both fell through in the last two transfer windows. Mikel Arteta's side will have to try again in the summer to sign that desired midfielder. Agbonlahor now believes Rice would prefer a move to Arsenal over boyhood club Chelsea. The project being built at the Emirates may be impossible to ignore for the world-class England international. Asked by Talksport presenter Alan Brazil about the midfielder, Agbonlahor said, I think he would rather Chelsea maybe. He was there as a kid, but he got let go. You have got Enzo Fernandez there that they have just signed. They have got a lot of midfielders, Chelsea, and the way Arsenal are playing at the moment, he might look at the project under Arteta and think, why not? I could go in there. Jorginho isn't going to be playing much. Thomas Partey is always injured. Declan Rice gets into that side. He keeps his place. He keeps those two players out probably next season. So I think Declan Rice will join Arsenal. A recent report from Bennett Jacobs suggested Arsenal are in pole position to sign Rice this summer. The Gunners are in a brilliant position in the league and have an exciting crop of talent to choose from. Rice would go into the squad as one of the more experienced players and would likely be seen as a leader by Arteta. He would provide serious competition for both Partey and Granit Xhaka if he did make the move in the summer. Arsenal fans will be hoping Agbonlahar's prediction comes true and Declan Rice becomes a gunner in the summer. Arsenal could make a attempt to sign Moses Caicedo alongside Declan Rice this summer. Arsenal could still make a move for Brighton and Hove Albion midfielder Moses Caicedo next summer, even if they sign Declan Rice. That's according to the Times, who outlined Mikel Arteta's plans for the next transfer window. Arsenal have an incredibly exciting few months ahead of them. Mikel Arteta has led the Gunners to the top of the Premier League with a third of the season left to play. Manchester City will be chasing them down, but their return to the Champions League looks all but secured. This means Arsenal should be able to attract the best players possible when the transfer window reopens. West Ham captain Declan Rice looks set to be the Gunners' top target after admitting his Champions League aspirations. However, the Times also suggested that Arsenal could go back in for Caicedo this summer as they look to improve the overall quality of the squad. After missing out on the Ecuadorian in January, they could finally agree a deal to sign the talented youngster. The report from the Times suggests that Arsenal are confident of signing Declan Rice ahead of rivals Chelsea. They also believe Arsenal will renew their interest in Caicedo this summer. The Independent have claimed that the incredible 21-year-old could cost as much as £90 million when he finally moves on. This would make him a more expensive transfer than Rice, but the pair could really complement each other. Arsenal may not just be targeting two new midfielders in the next transfer window. Mikel Arteta is also reportedly after another winger and a new left back. The Gunners will need to really improve their squad depth to maintain their league form and compete in the Champions League. It's a brilliant problem to have and means the next transfer window should be thrilling at the Emirates. The Gunners have already identified two proven Premier League talents to compete with the likes of Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka. Arsenal bringing in Caicedo in the summer would be a fantastic addition. Journalist shares update on Raheem Sterling's future at Chelsea amid Arsenal transfer links. Journalist Simon Phillips claims Raheem Sterling is considering leaving Chelsea after reports that Arsenal are interested in signing him. Mikel Arteta has been linked with a move for Sterling this week after the Emirates Stadium was touted as a possible destination for the winger over the summer. Sterling completed a switch to Stamford Bridge last summer, but it's fair to say that his time in West London hasn't exactly gone according to plan as of yet. The 28-year-old picked up an injury earlier in the campaign, and with Graham Potter's man struggling in mid-table, it seems that Sterling could be prepared to seek a move away from the club. Phillips provided an update on Sterling's future on his Substack and says that Sterling is already considering his future at Stamford Bridge. He said, I understand that Raheem Sterling is another player considering his Chelsea future this summer and may well seek a move away already. Sterling hasn't become fully happy and content at Chelsea since his move from Manchester City. 90-minute report that Arsenal remain interested in the former City star as they prepare for their return to the Champions League. Sterling has been described as world-class during his time at the Etihad Stadium, but his future at Chelsea already looks unclear. The Blues have been busy in the transfer market by bringing in the likes of Mykhailo Mudryk and Madwyk. It's no surprise that Sterling could be considering his future after a difficult few months in West London. Of course, he is a player that Arteta will know extremely well after their time in Manchester together, and Arsenal have certainly benefited from bringing in former City players recently. While Arsenal have already moved to bring in Trossard in January, Sterling would be an excellent addition to Arteta's squad. He would bring a similar type of know-how to that of Jorginho, while being able to provide cover and competition for Arsenal's wide players. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.